Good evening, YouTube. My name is Christian Cloud, and today I will be talking about three One Piece theories that have been on my mind for a while as of late. Well, one that's been on my mind for a while, the other is because of the latest buzz of the latest, more so the latest two One Piece episodes that are giving the fandom a new type of popularity since this whole madness with the COVID crap. The latest two episodes, well, the first one saw the dissolution or the abolishment of the seven warlord system. The latest one that just came out a few days ago showed us a bit of the history in the past of the Rocks pirates, who were led by their captain, Rocks D. Zibbit. Since then, these two episodes have gotten garnished a bunch of popularity, even saying that they may be the two greatest episodes in One Piece, which is saying something because there is a shitload of episodes to pick from. If I had to pick, it would honestly be the introduction of Gear 4th, but that's not what this is about. So, without further ado, let me get on to the first theory of this video. I know there have been a bunch of theories about this, but the first theory is what happened at the Reverie. That's been a big topic for many of us, mostly because there was this big fallout with a newspaper coming out saying how all of a sudden a big event happened and everyone is confused, scared, and flustered. Specifically, the Revolutionary Army, because something happened with Sabo. We also get a look more in detail with that in the anime as how Alabasta is crying and scared. Dadan and the bandit thieves in the mountains are wondering what happened with Sabo. This can't be true from there. We also get what may be the truth sooner down the line, as Walpole wants to give a special exclusive to Morgans about what happened at the Riviera, or as I call him, the Birdman. Like, look at him, Birdman. Anywho, basically what I think happened at the Riviera was, before we even get into that, we have to start at the beginning. At the Riviera, we had a bunch of dignitaries, world leaders, and recurring characters come back from Dalton, Walpole, Grand DNA, Shirahoshi, and King Neptune, Viola, Rebecca, and King Riku, even some of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, like Leo. So, from there, the first event that happened was how Shirahoshi was almost forced into slavery by that despicable celestial dragon. And the same celestial dragon who Shirahoshi's mom ended up saving helped her. From there, we get little bits of glimpses as how Sabo, the Revolutionary Army commanders, are basically there and awaiting to plan a surprise attack on the Riviera. Because only revolutionary executives that are there are Morley, Karasu, Lindbergh, and Sabo. Bigelow, Betty, and Ivankov are with Dragon at the time. So, now we get closer, as before the Gorosei are going down because they have been summoned by Imu-sama. They were originally summoned by Cobra Nefertiri, who wanted to talk to the Gorosei about something. And they were worried about this because it's unlike Cobra to do this. And another thing that we learned is that the Nefertiri family was one of the original founders that left the Holy Land 800 years ago. So that really gives us a little bit of more of the story as to why the Nefertiri family is so important. But not enough to where it's a big spoiler, as like. So here is what I believed happened. After all of the issues were stated and most of the dignitaries had left, keyword most, because Walpole has information, we don't know where he was up at. The Gorosei basically were about to kill Cobra. I don't think Vivi is dead. Cobra. And the thing is, they had a bunch of goons like they do ready to kill Cobra. But before that, they granted him one final question. Now, we don't know what question that might be. For me to speculate what he may say, I feel like that would be a little too much even for me to really know what dialogue that Aichiro Sensei may put for that. Who knows? But either way, Sabo at the time happened to be one of them goons, and he was able to narrowly save Cobra. During this time, though, the Revolutionary Army launched their attack. Morley, Karasu, and Lindbergh, and it's a big free-for-all of disasters. Only problem is, Lindbergh is a traitor too, and is a betraying the Revolutionary Army. Now I know some people will be like, isn't that a little lazy of you to include that theory where it seems like it's a prominent one? I don't know, really. Because as much as I would not want him to be that, I have to look at the facts that Eiichiro Oda Sensei does reference people named after these actual pirates. And because Lindbergh was an actual traitor in real life, that could be the route he's going with that. I really hope none of them are traitors. I really hope it really is Lindbergh and not Karasu, to be honest. So that's why that's there. So this whole assassination attempt is going on for Cobra. But where is Vivi? What I believe happened with Vivi was this. Imu himself kidnapped Vivi and ended up showing her the secret treasure, or she tried to run from Imu and found the treasure herself on top of that. And Vivi-chan has always been like that out of place character, where even though we were introduced to her, she was like a little supporting character, something about her, she had irradiated a different energy than anything else. And when she was on the crew for a while, it was amazing, but we still felt like she had more than she had to do. Because before this happened, Imu had 4 pictures. He cut up 3 of those pictures. The pictures were of Shirahoshi, who is a reincarnated super weapon, Marshal D. Teach, who has the will of D and is also a 4th emperor, and is a complete and utter douchebag. Yeah. And Monkey D. Luffy, who has the will of D, who may become the Pirate King, and on top of that has a straw hat himself. The 4th picture was of Nefertiti Vivi, but Vivi's pictures was not destroyed or taken. It was still in good shape, and Imu put it in his pocket before he met the Gorosei at this time. So, we don't know what Imu has planned for Nefertiti Vivi. For all we know, he could be trying to sacrifice her for a new body, because we don't know if Imu is a him or her, or hell, both, for all we know, to be honest. But I digress from that, moving back on. What happens right there is that the free-for-all fighting is spreading through most of the Holy Land, and some of the slaves are out. Some of these slaves are attacking the Celestial Dragons, and it's becoming a bloodbath on top of that. Cobra ends up finding Vivi and Sabo, and Vivi tells Cobra about what she saw, and Sabo listens in, and he's reminded of Luffy. So, from there, Cobra realizes that right now he's not going to be able to get out of here, and that if Vivi stays, she's doomed to a worse fate than ever. Cobra tells Sabo to get Vivi out of here and find Luffy and the Straw Hats. To not only make his death mean something, but to also save Vivi and also learn the truth of the blank century. And this would be good in a way that it would finally bring all the pieces together. Because Eiichiro Oda Sensei himself said that there may be one more One Piece character who will join the Straw Hat crew. And that could be Sabo or Vivi. But that's another part of the theory. If they meet up together, it will also bring a bridge for Luffy to meet Dragon as well. Because if Luffy finds the One Piece treasure and Dragon and Sabo are there, you can bet your ass that Dragon is going to tell the truth to every damn body. Because Dragon's main objective and goal is to destabilize the world government and show their tyranny and their corruption to everybody. Vivi, we still don't know what Vivi's role in is all this. So after those two narrowly escape from the Holy Land, they are now fugitives and trying to find Luffy and the crew. Only problem is they could be hunted by CP0. And I say that may be loosely, but that could be a thing because we just found out that CP0 is in the land of Wano. Which what the hell is they doing in the land of Wano when land of Wano isn't under any form of the world government at all? It's its own country and territory on top of that. So, in order for the Grose to save face, they blame the death of Cobra, the Revolutionary Army's attack, and the destruction of the Holy Land with some of the slaves being freed or some of the six dragons being killed on Sabo and him kidnapping Vivi. So now this paper has been released and people don't know what to believe or what happened because they said so themselves. Bella Betty said that they haven't been able to get in contact with any of the executives from Lindbergh, Morley, or Karasu. We don't know what Lindbergh truly is, so I'm going to keep Lindbergh as a question mark. Karasu or Morley, they could either be killed, be imprisoned, and being tortured for information, or being turned over to the world government side. Who knows at this point? That concludes my theory on the Reverie. Now, this theory is short, and I'll admit, even for me, it's outlandish and stretching more than Luffy does on any given day. But who knows, because Eiichiro Oda Sensei is a genius of foreshadowing, storytelling, and throwing us curveballs. Recently, anime-wise, we were shown the identity of the Rocks Pirates, led by Rox D. Zivik. And on his crew, he led not one, not two, but three of the four emperors. A young Whitebeard, rest in peace, Edward Newgate, rest in peace. A young Kaido, who still, I can see why he gave up shirts, because that shirt is saying, just kill me. And a young Big Mom, who I don't care what they say, until I see a face, I don't believe that's her. I don't believe that silhouette for a second. None of it. So, the question that we have been trying to figure out is, what was the main goal of the Rocks Pirates? That goal was that Rocks wanted to control the world. The theory that I have is this. As everyone knows, God Valley has disappeared from the world maps. They've disappeared from the world maps. No one can find it. This incident is known as the God Valley incident that took place 38 years ago. During this incident, Garp was stationed there and had to fight the Rocks Pirates to protect and save the Celestial Dragons and their slaves. But as fate and coincidence would have it, Roger was there at the same time. So Garp and Roger teamed up and were able to defeat the Rocks Pirates. But after this, Rocks disappeared, they disbanded, and the God Valley disappeared. Now here's where the sketchy theory comes in. My theory is that it has something to do with one of the worst generation. The worst generation, since their inception at Saba de Archipelago, each one of them has been in the main storyline since then from a little bit. The only two that really haven't gotten that much shine really is Mad Monk Uroj and Jewelry Bonnie. My theory is that Jewelry Bonnie's predecessor, or maybe her herself, destroyed the God Valley on orders from the world government. Now I know some people are like, how does that work? Please explain that shit to us right down the middle. I am. My theory is that the predecessor of Jewelry Bonnie or her herself had an awakened devil fruit, and she was really able to rewind the time on the entire island to where it ceased to exist or just became a little pebble after that, so that the Gorosei would not ever have to remember that embarrassment and tragedy. Now, when awakened devil fruit happens, it affects more than just the person, but the land and environment around them. So this could happen because Doflamingo's awakened devil fruit is able to do that, turn the strings into everything. Like the bird cage, the towns were turned to strings, looking like foxtails, just that. Plus, it would, in a way, explain Bonnie's relationship with the world government. Because during and after the War of the Best, or Marineford arc, Bonnie was upset about the war and saying it was someone else's fault. And because Blackbeard had taken Whitebeard's power, she went after him. Blackbeard had kidnapped her and defeated her on an unknown island, and when Sakazuki himself came, the Blackbeard pirates retreated. As soon as Akainu sees her, he says some words that were odd for him because well, Akainu is what's the word I'm looking for jackass. Yeah, the words he said were, when I heard that you escaped from the government, it made my blood freeze. I'm happy we found you. And she says, I will never forgive the government. Plus, further on, we see that she is at the Reverie herself, and she is angry at what has happened to the kind Bartholomew Kuma, who has become a ginormous slave toy hunter, basically. So, from that, we can only gather that Bonnie really does have a long history and experience with the world government. Whether it's she herself and she has been alive for many years, reversing her age, or whether it is her entire family line can only have this certain devil fruit and they have been used to keep the girl say young and used for other purposes at this point. So that's that theory. Now, number 3. This theory, well, it's been, in a way, it's not a theory. It may actually be fact because Sengoku himself asked the question, why do all of these prominent figures that cause chaos in the world, why do all these pirates go to the land of Wano? And the question there you have to ask is, why does the Kozuki clan themselves have the knowledge and ability to read the poneglyphs and on top of that transcribe them on things? Well, more so did. Kozuki, just for the record, this is about to be spoilers of the manga, which will destroy those who only watch the anime. So, just saying, you have been warned. Kozuki Oden was headhunted by Roger because he could read and transcribe the poneglyphs. Roger was the first person to ever find the One Piece treasure, but for some reason, he didn't tell nobody, or as Whitebeard said, it wasn't time, or you're not the one Roger is waiting for. So, the theory that I'm stating is this. Wano, God Valley, and the Awakening of Devil Fruits are all key into what will happen after the One Piece treasure is found. And by that, Whitebeard's last words, his last ginormous middle finger to the world government and Sengoku and his giant afro was, One Piece does exist. And you and the Holy Land and all them people or tyrants, the Celestial Dragons, fear the day that will be known in the war that will engulf the entire world in one day. The thing is, Big Mom herself also stated that she is waiting for her daughter Pudding's devil fruit to awaken. So the thing is, the awakening of devil fruits is prudent to what will happen when the One Piece treasure is found and what is going to happen. Because from what we've known for years, and Eiichiro Sensei alluding to, is that the One Piece treasure is basically the truth of this world. But the question is, what will happen when that truth is found and told? Because for some reason, after a while, we all really notice that if the certain right person doesn't really get the One Piece treasure, then what are they going to do with the truth? Whitebeard had no interest in it. Roger just made it into a story and also made the One Piece treasure into this giant thing for someone to find. So, the land of Wano, yeah, it may honestly be where the whole blank century may have honestly taken place, or is like the start of it. Because for a clan to have that much knowledge about something this, well, disastrous and is coveted, it would explain it. Plus, how the world government accepted the fact that they weren't even part of the world government, yet they got all these strong warriors on top of that, would explain and make some sense. Like, they got some leverage as big as Doflamingo when he posted a fake saying he resigned from the Seven Warlords, when in fact he hadn't, and that started everyone in the Dressrosa arc. So that's that. The theory of how the awakening of these devil fruits is proven for what will happen in the next start of One Piece. Now remember, these are only theories that I'm basing, so there is some way they can happen, but there isn't a lot of context because we don't know what will happen at the end of the day. Now, with that being all, I wish everyone a good day and a happy 2021.